Hi, today I'd like to introduce to you the Hong Kong Institute of Qualified Environmental Professionals. And the reason why is for all of you professors, students, researchers out there, especially scientists, I'd like to point out there is a possible future career pathway in becoming an environmental professional. The time is right. The demand is growing, whether it's the increase in infrastructure projects, which means we need more environmental professionals in consulting and construction industry. There are going to be more and more environmental laws and regulations, whereby therefore the government also needs to hire more environmental professionals from an enforcement perspective. And even corporations, they're also beginning to realize they really need professionals to help them manage some of the environmental impacts that their business may be causing. In parallel, we're also seeing from the supply side, many more universities also having more programs, whether it's environmental management or environmental science, policy. And we are also getting many more of the future generation like you who are passionate about the topic of environment. And therefore, they're also seeking, we know they're seeking careers in this area. And so what the Institute wants to do is to help and bridge the gap between the supply and the demand. The fact that as the corporations, government, the different sectors, we also need to be hiring the right type of people. And the university programs need to be set up so that the content that you're being taught actually matches with what is expected from your future employer. Basically, the Institute is trying to support the sustainable economic growth of Hong Kong and the region by creating a new professional industry for our future generations like you. Our vision is to develop Hong Kong as the center of excellence for developing qualified environmental professionals in the region. And our strategy contains 4 prongs. First, developing a qualification process and registry for qualified environmental professionals. Secondly, creating a market demand for qualified environmental professionals. Third, strengthening the environmental tertiary education system. And fourth, nurturing cross-disciplinary environmental professionals. The Institute could not have been set up without the support of our foundational institutional partners. In this day and age, you're going to begin to realize collaboration, partnership is key to success. Not any one of us is going to be an expert in different areas. Not any one of us has all the right perspectives to look at the problem and solutions holistically. And so we need partners to help us so that we can all see the different perspectives. And in this case, we already have a number of environmental professional institutes that also existed. And therefore, with their support, we were able to create this institute. As I mentioned earlier, we have our 4 prongs. And we start with the qualification process as the key component, and then making sure that we also align the demand side with the supply side. That at the end of the day, we can actually create a whole pipeline, create the value chain that is needed to create this new profession. And so far, we already have a directory of professional members. So if you become qualified, you will be a professional member that is on this registry. We have also been recognized by businesses. And in Hong Kong, we have over 45 businesses and organizations that have recognized the qualification and in fact have started incorporating their requirement, their professional requirement and accreditation into their job ads. There's also recognition by government that for consultancy projects that the government will undertake, anything that is to do with the environment, they will require qualified environmental professionals, whether it is from Hong Kong IE's environmental discipline or the HKI QEP. And more recently, we've also begun to develop accreditation of undergraduate programs that will help benefit the students of today and the future, that you will also know which undergraduate programs you can take to help facilitate your progression to becoming an environmental professional. And of course, we recently actually did announce a new, what we called a Graduate Environmental Mentoring Scheme, the GEMS program, in support of the government's Green Employment Scheme. That what we wanted to do was not only after do environmental graduates come out to work, but during that working process, the first few years of your career, you don't necessarily have all the exposure and all the knowledge that you can have if you only work in very, very small tasks or in certain positions. And so this mentoring scheme really helps our young generation of new professionals to gain and acquire more experience and more perspectives, and to plan strategically whether they even want to stay in the environmental field, or even if they go into another field, how do they continue to bring the passion of environment into their job and into their careers. And with that, I would like to plead for those that are interested, please come join us, whether as a student or associate member. Later, if you want to become a qualified member, you can take the qualification process and join the industry. Thank you for listening.